Hey guys, Chris Lumberg, Redeem Real Estate here with a weekly market update. I know there's a lot of unknown right now, a lot of concern, and I know that our housing market shouldn't be the number one thing we should be concerned about, but I know a lot of you have some extra time on your hands, and that question has come up in regards to, hey, what's gonna happen with my house value? Or is now a good time to sell? Or is it gonna be a good time to buy? Or what's going on with interest rates? I have lots more information in the coming weeks about all of that. And here's the reality is stuff is changing really, really quick. But what I wanted to do today is give you a little bit of data in the form of some charts, some visual charts, so you can really see kind of where we're at and why we don't need to be freaking out and don't need to be concerned. So with that being said, I had a great call with Tina Tambor with the Cromford Report, amazing organization that I follow to get daily data in regards to what's going on with our housing market. Subscription-based service that is just invaluable when it comes to trying to figure out where we're at so that we can give good counsel and good advice to our clients in regards to what's happening in the market. So I'm going to shift my screen here to some charts to give you really a sense of what's going on in regards to what's happening. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to get down into the weeds here a little bit, but it's really helpful for you to understand this because I'm going to be talking a lot about the Cromford Market Index over the next weeks and months. So what this is a combination of our supply and our demand as communicated through a specific index. And so what this means is that anything over 100 on the scale would be a seller's market, and anything under 100 would be a buyer's market, simply based on supply and demand. So the combination of supply and demand, the inventory we have, and the amount of people that are wanting to buy homes translates into this chart. And so what you can see is that over the last 6 months, remember 100 is a balanced market, or where we're not going to be depreciating and we're not going to be appreciating past the rate of inflation. And so remember, 100 is balanced. You can see the bottom of this chart here is 190. And so where we're at as a whole as a market is a very strong seller's market. And you can see we started to go down a little bit, again, not down to where we were in balance, but down to where it just wasn't as strong in November. And since November, we have skyrocketed up to above 240. Right now, we're in between 230 and 240 on the Cromford Market Index. So what that means is that we're a really, really strong seller's market. We've seen a little bit of a dip here, but that's not necessarily unexpected. We needed something to shift this trajectory that we've been on, and the coronavirus and the impact that it's had, we knew that it was going to shift this. And so this is where we're at. We're at 230, 235 when 100 is balanced. So all that means is homes are going to still appreciate. Go to the next chart here. Oops, sorry, let me go back there. Here's kind of the information behind that index. You can kind of see what's causing that. Supply and demand. And so again, we're 235 on the index. Our demand is very normal. The amount of people that are buying homes and putting homes under contract. Our big problem right now is supply. We are at 44% of normal in regards to what our seasonal supply would be. So we need more homes to go onto the market to shift this back down in favor of buyers. And you can see we're starting to see a little bit of that. Here's been our supply trend over the past 30 days. And once all of this unknown started happening, we're starting to see a little bit of an uptick in supply. But what I want you to understand is this is a market-wide data index. And so if we get more specific to where a lot of you are in Gilbert or Chandler, because I know that I work a lot in those areas, I want you to see the difference of where we're at, as opposed to the last chart, which is the whole kind of greater Phoenix area. Right now in Chandler, we're at 363 on that chart. So over 100 points higher, 100 points more in favor of sellers in Chandler. You can see our supply is 25%. We are way low in regards to the amount of homes that we have. Gilbert, same thing, 343 on that chart, 28% of normal supply. So again, you've seen an uptick here, but that uptick just means that we're coming back from 27% of supply up to 28, 29% of supply. And we expect that chart to continue, but we've got a long way to go until that helps balance this out to get back close to 100, which is when prices would stop appreciating if we stayed there for a period of time. This next chart is really helpful just as a whole to understand how low we are supply-wise in compared to previous years. You can see 2019 at the end of the year, we started to kind of go off track in regards to what our normal seasonal supply pattern would be. And we ended the year really low, only 11,000 listings. We started the year obviously really low, and we continued to go down. So this last couple weeks, we've seen an 8.9% increase of supply. But even where we're at right now, take a look at this. We're still 39, almost 40% below normal. So as this continues to go up, which we expect it will, based on more people listing their homes, we have a long ways to go to get back up to where normal would be. And this doesn't happen quickly. So understand this is way, way low, and this is why we're going to continue to see houses appreciate. This last chart is really helpful for more on a historical sense of what this Cromford Market Index chart means in regards to appreciation or depreciation and how long it takes for those things to take place. I highlighted here back in 2005 and really more 2004, this black line is the Cromford Market Index chart. And you can see these blue lines are the appreciation or depreciation of prices, and then where those happened in relation to when the Cromford Market Index changed. So once you take a look at this really closely, back here in 2005, you can see the peak of when we changed the Cromford Market Index trajectory and we started dropping. And you can see that for 1, 2, 3, 4 months after we started seeing a massive shift in the Cromford Market Index, we actually continue to see prices appreciate and appreciate even faster than they were. Now keep in mind, everything in the blue here is appreciation. So just because this is dropping, that doesn't mean that houses are not appreciating. They're just appreciating at a less rate than they were the month before. So look at this, for 15 months after the Cromford Market Index changed, we still saw appreciation before we finally got down below the 100 line. This is that balance line that we talked about in regards to the index. And then you can see that's when we started depreciating and we went through the recovery period in the 3 to 4 years after the crash. But what I want you to keep in mind here is the amount of time it took to get from here to here. Now again, right now, this is a couple month old chart. We're right now at the 235 range. We're not as high as we were here, but remember in Gilbert and Chandler, right now we're up in the 350s. It's going to take a long time for prices to change. And for this chart, when this chart started changing, it took almost a year for us to get back below 100. And so it may not take that long this time, and we may not even get there. We may not get down to 100. But what I want to do is kind of calm the fears that something is going to happen fast. Our housing market does not change fast, and prices do not change fast. We're in a really, really strong seller's market right now, and buyers are going to get some relief. We are going to have less people writing offers on the same home that we would have a couple months ago. And so there is some opportunity for buyers, especially if interest rates stay low. And so keep those things in mind. If you were planning on selling a couple months ago, it's still a smart idea to sell. But if you weren't planning on selling a couple months ago, there's no reason to be concerned and put your house on the market right away. I'm going to follow all of this data daily, and every week I'm going to give you an update. Probably not as long, but I wanted to get some kind of initial groundwork here to understand the Cromford Market Index because it's going to be the key data point that we're going to be looking at moving forward because it is a leading indicator. When this changes, the pricing will change, and it will change 3 to 6 months afterwards. So we really can't predict what's going to happen based on what's happened with the Cromford Market Index. If you have any questions about this, I have lots more charts and lots more data to give you. And if you have just input on other questions that you might have for these weekly update videos, I'm happy to take those. Send me a DM, send me an email, send me a text. I'm going to keep you guys updated so we know what's going on and we're in this together. And again, this is not the most important thing we should be worried about. Go out, continue to love your neighbors, serve the people around you that are in need, pray for and serve the doctors and nurses that are on the front lines of this, serving us well right now. And I'll keep you all informed in regards to what's going on the real estate side. Stay safe. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.